Alright, welcome everybody to round number one. We're gonna keep this. So, this hand is pretty good. It doesn't have everything we want, right? It doesn't have like a Gideon or anything, but it has a little bit of removal, it has a Glory-Bound Initiate. If we're playing against Black-Red, the Magma Sprays are key, obviously, because we have to deal with both the Dread Wanderers and Scrap Heap Scroungers, so that's something that we're looking to capitalize on here. If they're not going to play anything on their second turn, then we're just going to go ahead and Glory-Bound Initiate. There's no reason not to. This irrigated farmland can get cycled at some point because we're not going to need double blue. This cast out could be important though because they obviously have a ton of things in their deck, like Key to the City and stuff that we would want to cast out. So from the looks of that Grasp of Darkness, we could be playing against a control deck, which is something that I wouldn't expect, but that I'm sure we have the sideboard, or that we definitely have a sideboard capable of defeating. I haven't seen a black-red control deck. I wouldn't be surprised if there is one. I have seen a Mardu control deck and a black-white control deck, so those are things I'd be on the lookout for. Alright, I'm going to pass the turn here. We're going to need double blue at some point, but there's no reason not to draw this. Sweltering Suns. Yeah, so we're definitely playing against a control deck here. That is super interesting. I wonder how they beat Marvel. Like, Lost Legacy in the main board or something? I don't know. Triskaidekaphobia. Alright, well, I'm going to Spell Queller that because I don't know what else to do. I'll play a Mountain. I'll attack. These Magma Sprays all of a sudden looking terrible. On the bright side, we're going to get to cycle its irrigated farmland, and if we find a Glorybringer or a Gideon or an Archangel Abyssin, we have enough mana to play it. Ah, okay, I don't mind this at all. So I'm going to cast out here, I guess. I just want to take the tree and another Spell Queller. That's actually really good for me. Okay, so attack for 2. We're on the Spell Queller beatdown plan here. If they use a removal spell to try to kill our Spell Queller, we're probably gonna be both Spell Queller and removal spell. The problem is that if it's something like Sweltering Suns, we might want to let it survive, and then when they go to cast Triskaidekaphobia, Spell Queller the Triskaidekaphobia, just because we don't want one Spell Queller to get blown up, and then the tides turn again. So I'm going to go ahead and Spell Queller that Incendiary Flow. Very interesting that they're playing a spell like Incendiary Flow in the deck, when like the main purpose, or the main upside to Incendiary Flow is that it goes to the face. Obviously they're not using it to kill people, so Wandering Fumarole is good. See, now the problem with the Spell Quellers is that if they kill one Spell Queller, they can then kill the next one. But it's also more pressure on the board. We have a Wandering Fumarole threatening lethal in 2 turns instead of 3. So that's pretty useful. We can get by a decent chunk of creatures. Midnight Oil, okay. Yeah, so end step, we're going to Irrigated Farmland. Another Magma Spray, not what we wanted. Another Spell Queller, that is what we wanted. Alright, so we're going to attack here, and then we're just going to leave up the 3rd Spell Queller. They're going to get 3 cards in their hand, which is kind of bad, but we know one of them's not a removal spell, so we just have to hope they don't draw 2 removal spells in a row, and then we should be able to win the game. Because if they drew a removal spell, they're going to go for it here. So now if they have a 3rd removal spell, they can run the removal spell, removal spell, removal spell gamut, but I'm not entirely sure that's, or I hope that's not what they have at least. Alright, we won the game. Sweet! So we got game 1 here, of the weird Midnight Oil control mirror. I want to tap one of them for blue mana so I don't mess up. I just gotta remember to switch power and toughness. I don't know what they said. They probably just said GG or something. Alright, so what do we do against black-red control? Where Chandra's definitely coming in and negates are coming in. We have to have a way to mess up the combo, but I guess cast-outs are just that. Carry Zev is normally in here for control, right? It's a 1-3 that's hard to be blocked, and it basically just hits for 3 every turn. So that's normally our answer to control. We could have Bomat Couriers in that spot, but, you know, I'm trying out Carry Zev because I have not tried her out yet. She also fits with the dragon theme because, you know, you make a 2-1 red dragon token. Yes, I know it's a monkey. I'm obviously trolling. So, Salvet Spear is going to be good. Negate's going to be good. Magnum Spray is going to be terrible. The Raven Inspector can always get cut. Thalia seems fine, but not great. Cast Out's good. Avacyn's good. And we want all 8 walkers. So, what are we going to do here exactly? We're going to take out the Magma Sprays. We can take out the... We could actually also take out the Spell Quellers. Maybe not, maybe not. I wonder if they're just bringing in more removal, how they're dealing with this. Thalia seems fine. Would I rather have a Thraben Inspector or a Carry Zev? I guess I'd rather have a Carry Zev just beating down. Alright, this is going to be my my final form here. Archangel Avacyn and Glorybringer just make walkers like not a great idea against us in general. So there is that. We're gonna mulligan. And we're gonna keep a 1-lander and bottom Nahiri. We're playing 24 lands. A lot of people suggested that I play 23. I said I don't think that's correct. I said I think 24 is correct. So we're on 24 here. The reason I think you keep a 1-lander like this is because you have Carry Zev in your hand, you have Thalia in your hand. You basically have 3 draw steps to draw 2 lands. Well, you actually have 3 draw steps to draw. You have 3 cards to draw 1 land, right? Because you have your Scry, your draw on turn 1, your draw on turn 2 to draw the first land. So, you know, you're not too much of a dog there. Alright, Inspiring Vantage. We're just going to get a, I guess we'll get a Carry Zev going. It's just harder to kill. I mean, I kind of know what they're up to at this point, right? They're trying to Tree of Perdition, make their life total 13, and then win the game with just Decaphobia. That one I figured out, which is sweet, by the way. Alright, Thalia it is. If we draw 1 more untapped land, by the way, Spirebluff Canal and Inspiring Vantage don't count, but if we're able to draw 1 more untapped land, then all of a sudden that makes Gideon good. Lucky that wasn't an untapped land into Tree of Perdition, because then they could just win in 2 turns, so. Another Collective Defiance. Okay, so not getting 2-for-1s with Collective Defiance. We hope to draw a land here. Spirebluff Canal. That's fine. We get to play a Glorybound Initiate still, right? We get to keep the pressure up, and then we get to play either Gideon or keep Spell Queller up on the following turn. My guess is this Glorybound Initiate is just going to die, so we should probably play a Gideon. It's interesting to me that they have a lot of sorcery speed removal, especially sorcery speed removal that goes to the face, but maybe sometimes they have a tough time getting their opponents to 13. I'm not exactly sure. Alright, I'm going to play a Gideon. I'm going to create a guy, and then I'm going to play an irrigated farmland. There's no reason to keep Spell Queller up. They're just going to play around it. They're going to know that I have Spell Queller, and then I'm for sure losing, right? The beauty of Spell Queller last game is that since I was pushing the pace and threatening lethal and whatever, I could keep Spell Queller up. Now that I have a Gideon, Spell Queller is something that I can keep alive. If this is a Triskaidekaphobia, I'm fairly sure we just lose. Okay, it's not. Chandra or Glorybringer? I guess we play Chandra. Alright, getting in for 2 here. So if we can survive without a... If we can survive 1 more turn, we're probably in decent shape. Right, because we get to start hitting for 4 every turn, basically, because we're... Yeah. Exchange target opponent's life total with trigger predictions toughness. Come on! Don't do it to me. Alright, that's fine. That I don't care about so much. Also, Midnight Oil is sweet, but they're probably going to have to discard to it at some point, and it's not like we're not drawing extra cards, so I'm okay with it. Wow, another Gideon, jeez. Alright, so I do just have a bunch of Gideons in hand. I want the Spell Queller to disrupt if they have a Triskaidekaphobia or something, knowing that they're also probably going to have the kill spell for the Spell Queller to, you know... I guess we kind of know what's happening, but... Alright, so they're going down to 3, up to 6 cards in hand. So they're going to have to play 3 cards this turn. They're going to play a land and a spell. This is going to be a Triskaidekaphobia. I'm going to attempt to Spell Queller this, and that's not going to work, and then I'm going to die. Alright, so the fact that we're both on 13 is a little interesting, obviously. I mean, I could have let it resolve, but then they just, like, Incendiary Flow themselves or something, and then they win, so I just have to do this. I'm not attacking them. I guess I don't really have a choice there. Alright, so they've discarded Bedlam Reveler. Yeah, they're going to take 1. Wandering Fumarole. Excellent. We're going to make a 2/2 White Knight. We're going to... I mean, if they have a removal spell for Spell Queller, they have a removal spell for Spell Queller. We're dead to that anyways. I think we just have to try to present lethal. We could have cycled this Irrigated Farmland for a Spell Queller. Mistake. Well, I know that was a mistake, but that's okay. Well, it's not that it was a mistake. I mean, it was the best thing that we could do. Yeah, that's another notion, is that, like, oh, you made a mistake. It's not like it was, it's not that it was a mistake. It's that, like, that was the best thing that we could do. And we did it. So our opponent's going to have to discard at least 2 cards this turn, which is going to help us kill him. We also have a Gideon to plus and a Chandra to plus, so I'm not too worried about it. They didn't have a removal spell there for Triskaidekaphobia. Ace Expertise, yeah, that's fine. Not worried about that. Is there some weird way they're going to win the game here? No, I think they're just dead, right? Yeah, they're going to go to 2, and then I'm going to shunt. So I'm not sure exactly what they said by we are making a mistake. Maybe we were? Are we surprisingly dead here? I don't think so. I just think that they're dead. Big fan. 2 thumbs up. I like the idea. Okay, I'm a fan of the idea. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say it might not have worked as our opponent had hoped. All right, we got the 30 play points. So see you everybody for match number 2 coming up